Merab Dvalishvili destroys and submits Sean O'Malley in round number 3 in what was ultimately one of my worst predictions ever. I should have known better with this fight. I really should have. And you know, how many of us got trapped into that? I've got a feeling Sean O'Malley might pull it off this time. He's changed his persona. He's changed his personality. He's changed all of these things. But ultimately, you know, you can stop gooning. You can stop edging. You can stop doing all these things that Sean O'Malley talked about. But it was never a persona issue for Sean O'Malley. It was a skill issue. Merab was too good for Sean O'Malley, ultimately, in this fight. And some people really glazed Sean O'Malley after this fight, in my opinion, a little bit too much. They said Sean O'Malley was... They were saying to me that Sean O'Malley did really well. And I don't think he did. I think he did okay. The first fight I thought was more competitive, to be honest with you. It was... Merab clearly won the fight 3-2. But it was more competitive, in my opinion. This fight, Sean was... He fought the wrong game plan, in my opinion. And I can never be overly critical of Tim Welch because, well, Tim Welch is a more experienced guy in MMA than I could ever hope to be. He's a better cornerman than I could ever hope to be. But I just couldn't help but feel like he was giving the wrong advice at the end of round 1. Merab isn't a guy that is... Merab doesn't fight in a way that's... Breathe. You're doing great, bud. You're doing great, bud. Hey, we just need to tighten up a few things. Get low with your stance. That was good advice. But then it was the, you're doing great. It was the... I feel like Tim Welch in both fights lured Sean O'Malley into this false sense of security that he was... just needed to keep doing what he's doing, but just maybe add a few things. And I thought, no. That first round, you can win a first round. And he didn't win the first round, by the way. Merab won the first round. But you can start off well. You can land front kicks up the middle. You can occasionally shift off with a step-in, southpaw right hand. Like it's kind of shifting from orthodox into southpaw. You can do all these things if you want to do them. But you can't beat Merab sniping at him. That's the wrong game plan. And I don't care what anybody says. You can't beat Merab sniping him. You just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. You don't have a chance. You're not going to find that one big shot if you're looking to time it against Merab. Now, Merab fights the same way in every fight. I actually think people maybe over-egged how much Merab had improved. He got the finish, which was much needed in his career. We'll talk about that later in the video. It was an excellent performance by Merab. But, you know, we know what Merab is. What he is so effective. Probably the most effective fighter of all time. I've got to stop doubting him. Before this fight, I really thought Merab's a generational... No, I really thought before this fight, Sean O'Malley is a generational talent. You lot that have seen my predictions on TikTok or on here will know that that's what I've said. Sean O'Malley's a generational talent. I really believe this was his era. And it's not his era. This is Merab's era. And I doubted him against Petr Yan. I doubted him against Jose Aldo. I thought Aldo had the worst style possible for Merab. Well, he's not going to be able to take Aldo down. Aldo's got too much for him on the feet. The leg kicks are going to be a problem for Merab. And he couldn't separate distance. He couldn't get going. I mean, that fight was pretty close. But you could really argue Merab outworked him. Wasn't the most entertaining fight, but Merab outworked him. Petr Yan, I really believed Petr Yan was too good for Merab. Really, I did. At that point, I thought Petr Yan got unlucky against Aljamain Sterling. And this is the best bantamweight in the world in my mind. On his best day. Couldn't get going. Too slow of a starter. On a technical level, on paper before the fight, it's easy to say, well, Yan's very well-rounded. Yan's got a bigger finishing threat than Merab. Good leg kicks. He can switch up from a Muay Thai style to a boxing style to a wrestling style simultaneously. The multifaceted... Nurse, I can't say that word. He's multifaceted. God. He's multifaceted. There we go. I got there in the end. He's very well-rounded. He's very, very good, Petr Yan. But he didn't have the cardio. He didn't have the ability to keep up with Merab. No one has the ability to keep up with Merab. No one. See how heavy Sean O'Malley was breathing at the end of round 1? I don't just think it's the pace Merab fights with. I think it's the mental pressure of dealing with his pace that he fights with that exhausts you even more. Now, I'm a bitch. I realised after this fight, because I was salty after this fight, My acca went out the window. I hadn't slept a single minute over the night. And Sean O'Malley, really, in my opinion, it's not that he didn't turn up, but I just didn't expect him to get outclassed that way. And I was really salty about it, really bitter about it. I wanted to make a bitter reaction to it straight away. I'm not going to lie to you, Wall, I really, really did. But I realised I'm a bitch. And that's okay. I'm a bitch. I could never conceive of that level of cardio. So in my mind, I tell myself sometimes, there's no fucking way that that's natural. And maybe there isn't. That guy's cardio is so freakishly good that every time he fights, I think there's no fucking way that guy's natural. Because, you know, a normal guy like me can't even conceive of that level of cardio. And I'm not trying to glaze the guy. This is just, I realised after this fight, I'm a fucking bitch. That guy's built different. That guy is a different level of athleticism that you could only ever hope to achieve. Even if you're a professional fighter, you ain't getting to that level. I don't even think if Sean O'Malley took EPO, he'd be able to match that kind of pace. I don't know. Merab's pace is that good. I genuinely, every time I watch him fight, think, God, is that natural? But then I feel like I just can't conceive of how good that cardio is. And surely, Umar Nurmagomedov will work just as hard as Merab in the training room. Sean O'Malley, I have no doubt this camp worked as hard as he's ever worked. But these guys don't have an answer to that cardio. These guys, who Sean O'Malley can pace himself over 5 rounds. Petr Yan can do it too. Jose Aldo, not the best cardio in the world, maybe not the best example. And Corey Sanhagen can as well. And I'm sure when Corey Sanhagen fights Merab, people are going to say, well, he's long, he's rangy, he's got the flying knees, he's got really good confidence in his wrestling, he's extremely technical, he can slow the pace of the fight down, he's maybe going to be more confident going in there against Merab that he can handle his wrestling. But the fact of the matter is with Corey Sanhagen is he will get drowned. And I'm never picking against Merab again. Not until I feel he's out of his prime. Because that's what it's going to take. Nobody's beating him. Nobody's beating him. And, you know, I really thought this was Sean O'Malley's era. God, I thought it was Petr Yan's era. It's been staring at me in the face for many a time now. And I haven't picked up on it until now. Maybe too little too late, right? What a fighter. What a talent. And now he's got a finish over Sean O'Malley. You could say maybe he needs more finishes. He really needed a finish to, I feel like, get that general consensus that he's pushing for a pound-for-pound all-time great position. Because it always felt like before this fight, Merab was always just getting by. He just gets by Aldo. He outworks Petr Yan and dominates him. But even in that fight, you know, no, he dominated Petr Yan. Sean O'Malley, he just gets by Sean O'Malley. Does enough each round to win. But man, striking looked a lot better this time. Hands looked a lot better, a lot faster. Merab's distance management's very underrated. But it's the relentlessness, it's the fearlessness. Sean O'Malley tagged him a few times in this fight. Did not buckle Merab at all. And Merab moved with the punch. He didn't walk straight into it. But Merab didn't bother. He's fine. And also, one thing I want to say is, how many wrestlers do you see in the history of combat sports? Look at Mark Choinsky earlier in the card. Look at Mark Choinsky against Medeiros. How many wrestlers fail one takedown in a round and that's the only takedown they shoot? Because they failed the takedown and they sort of lose confidence. Sean O'Malley's takedown defence was pretty good last night. He ain't going to defend all of them. Petr Yan's takedown defence against Merab was actually excellent. But it's overwhelming. If you're getting tired, you're supposed to get more tired from failing takedowns, from failing getting the leverage on the takedowns, from failing shooting in. You're supposed to get more tired than the guy defending them. And that's where the cope comes in from me. Because I sit there and I think, God, it can't be natural, can it? If that is natural, that's fucking insane. That's just a different level. Guys get more tired defending Merab's takedowns than he does failing them. That's wild. That's work rate. That's just insane. That's insane. What a performance by Merab. What more can be said about it? Just absolutely exceptional. Where do I want to see them go next? I want to see Sean O'Malley maybe fight. I would say Corey Sanhagen, but maybe he's getting the next title shot. I need to watch Dana White's press conference. I've caught up on the Jon Jones stuff, which we will talk about in a second. But What a performance by Merab Dvalishvili. Sean O'Malley, man, he's not the next Conor McGregor. It's not his era. It wasn't a persona issue. It was a skill issue. And Merab, different level, different animal. Drowned Sean O'Malley. And Sean O'Malley now, it's going to take a lot of hard work to get back to that position. He's going to need to be more active in his career. And he's going to need to switch up his style, not his personal life, his style, to adapt to these fucking marauders at bantamweight. Moving on, Jon Jones. Dana White is turning on Jon Jones very slowly. You can see it. The press conference happened. Dana White basically said, we can't force Jon Jones to fight. Now, where have we seen this storyline before, I wonder? Where have we seen this storyline before, I wonder? I seem to recall a press conference a couple of years ago, maybe around the 2020 mark. You know, you can say you want to fight, but do you really want to fight? Dana was a bit tubby back then. You might not remember it. He's talking about Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou. Now, Dana White will rewrite history right now and say that Ngannou was the one that didn't want that fight. And at the time, I really believed the UFC were trying to underpay Jon Jones. I actually thought, you know what, pay them both a good amount and let's make this big super fight happen. And the UFC failed to do that. But we saw it at that time. Dana White will turn on Jon Jones if he feels like he needs to do it. Now, I feel like this time round, instead of... Because I feel like Jon Jones is a very egotistical person. Now, I'm not trying to... I don't know the bloke, but I feel like he's a very egotistical person. And if you come out on press conferences and you say, well, Jon doesn't want the fight, you know, Jon's ducking, basically. If you infer that, Jon will not want to then prove you wrong. He'll want to spite you and not take the fight more. So it feels like this whole time, Dana's been buttering Jon up. He's been giving Jon the Stipe fight. The Aspinall fight's been building up. Dana knows how big that fight is now. And it feels like maybe he and the UFC feel like Jon Jones owes them that matchup. But the problem is, you lost your leverage. You lost your leverage when you let Jon Jones fight Stipe. You lost your leverage. Because now he probably feels like he doesn't need to fight Tom. And he doesn't need to fight Tom. And if he feels like he doesn't need to fight Tom, please retire and vacate the title. That's all. As somebody who's from the northwest of England, yes, I am biased. That's all I want to say. I want to see Tom Aspinall fight for the world title. But it will be a crying shame if he doesn't beat Jon Jones to get it. He could beat Sirogan. But man, I wanted to see that Jones fight. And maybe he wouldn't beat Jones. It's not a guarantee that he would. But I wanted to see that Jones fight. But Dana White will turn on you. He will turn on you. We've seen it before with Dana White and Jon Jones. Go look at the Ngannou fight. Dana White will rewrite history now. And he'll say, well, Ngannou didn't want that fight. He was a horrible person to work with. He's a terrible person. But at the end of the day, before that, when Ngannou was an active champion in the UFC, Dana White said Jon Jones didn't want that fight. And whether you believe that or not, I don't know. I think Jon Jones just wanted more money out of it. And it just didn't come to be. And then the second time round, Ngannou wanted more money. And it just didn't come to be. It just did not come to be. And that's a shame. That's a shame that fight didn't happen. But man, second super fight of Jon Jones' career that he will have missed out on. And it's not the best news. Look, if you want to watch the fight, it's not the best news in the world, is it? You don't want to see that Jon Jones and Aspinall, the negotiations aren't going well. Because Dana White just literally last week was convinced it's going to happen. But it will get to a point where if Dana White's buttering up tactic won't work, you better believe before the final straw is broken and the UFC finally strip him, he will gaslight Jon Jones publicly and trash him publicly into taking that fight. That is what he will do. Because that's what's best for business. Now, Dana White knows, and I do believe I know too, and we all know, Jon Jones cares about his legacy. And even though he says he's living his best life, he don't care what fans think. He does. It does burn him that fans think he's ducking somebody, I think. I think that's all that's keeping him around the sport. I think that's all that's keeping him holding on to that belt. I think it will, as much as he says it doesn't, I think it does affect him personally. That maybe it hurts his pride. I don't know. Maybe whatever it is, I think it affects him personally that fans think he doesn't want that Aspinall fight and is ducking him. And I think that might end up being what makes him take that fight. And you better believe if Dana White puts public pressure on Jon Jones, either it'll make Jon Jones spite the UFC and say, well, I'm done, fuck you. Or it'll gaslight Jon Jones into taking that fight. But whether or not it's the news you wanted to hear or you didn't want to hear, unfortunately, guys, and look, this is a good thing, low-key, because it shows us where the negotiation's at. We've heard it from Ariel Helwani. We've heard Tom Aspinall say Jones is retired. We've heard Jones say we can't say too much. The UFC are handling it at the seminar. Just clearly lied. Just lied. Well, it's all right. But it's a good indication of where the fight is. Whether or not it's the news you wanted to hear, because obviously we want to hear that the fight's been announced, it's still a good indication of where the fight is. But you better believe Dana White will turn on that man. He will turn on that man if push comes to shove. You just wait and watch. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know what you thought of the Sean O'Malley and Merab fight. I was going to cover the full card, but, you know, the Jon Jones and Dana White thing dropped. I really wanted to spend more time on the Sean O'Malley and Merab fight. So let me know what you thought of the fights, guys. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.